Hello everyone, welcome back and welcome to the channel. This is the long-awaited drama video. Okay, I don't know if I can say long-awaited. It's literally been a few hours. But yeah, this is the video you guys were waiting for if you were. I can kind of talk about the drama now. I don't know how many games I'll play. It all depends on how long this takes me to talk about, but let's get right into it. If you're unaware, I do have driving lessons. I literally paid $1,000 to have driving lessons. It's like 10 hours of driving lessons. They teach you all the rules of the road, and then you have like a final test as well with them to get your fulls when you're able to. So that being said, I have my lessons every Saturday, once a month. So just like a random Saturday at the end of the month usually. And that was today. Sometimes it's at the end of the month, sometimes it's at the beginning of the month. This month, it was at the beginning. And that being said, today is the day. It's Saturday, October the 5th, and it's, yeah, the day. Basically, on top of that, it was, my usual is like a 15-minute drive away to get to the location that I'm supposed to be at. But today, it was a little different. They wanted me to drive 45 minutes away to a different location for a 2-hour session for in-city driving. And I live in a small town, so city driving in itself is just a terrifying idea. But it's a necessity of learning how to drive, so I mean, I was just ready for it. So I get ready this morning, and we head on our way to the location that's described in the email. Even as a reminder, it told us like a particular location, so we were like all ready and all set to go. We show up to the location, and it turns out that the building that was suggested was not the right building, or it wasn't the right area. Like, I don't want to say where I am, but basically we ended up at a provincial building that we were sure was the driving school, because they're associated with like the government. So we thought like a government building would mean that it was at that location. No, it was across the street. So we end up crossing the street after some help because we had to ask somebody, and we end up pulling into this parking lot to a big arena full of hockey players. It looks like it was their day to play hockey or something, because it's just absolutely packed full of people. And when I tell you packed, there was hundreds of cars like just filling this parking lot. And we're like, wow, okay, that's a lot of people. So I have a quick question for you. If somebody tells you to meet at a location, where do you think you're going to meet? Because personally, or basically everybody I've asked so far, if you're going to meet somebody at a location, it typically means that you're going to be meeting them at like the front door of whatever establishment or inside. Well, joke's on you. If either of you thought that was the right answer, I guess not, because my instructor decided to just randomly park in the hundreds of vehicles and just expected us to find him. So, yeah, we waited around at the front for around 30 minutes, just waiting for some type of contact from the instructor. Basically just to, like, know that we were at the right spot, and that, like, you know, just for him to show his face at the front of the building. And, fun fact, he didn't. He just suddenly called us and was like, oh, are you guys here? You're kind of late. And, well, I mean, seeing as we've been here for almost 30 minutes now, being accused of being late is absolutely insane. So probably gonna die to this guy. I take it back. He was doing some weird stuff. But yeah, so inevitably we're like, alright, I guess he's been here for some reason, just in the parking lot. I guess he wanted us to play Simon Says. So he finally pulls up to the front, and I'm with my dad because he drove me there, and he's just, well, not the happiest camper, and I'd say reasonably so. When your kid is kind of in a position in which they're just being not like treated properly for almost like slamming down $1,000 for lessons. I mean, I feel like anybody's parent would be pretty upset. So yeah, I talked to the guy by myself in the car. And the first thing that he's on about is just like, okay, let's start the lesson. And I'm like, hold on. Why are we starting the lesson? We've already wasted 30 minutes waiting for you to show up to the front of the establishment. And he's like, well, that's kind of your fault for not coming into the parking lot to find me. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? And so I'm like, how are we expected to, like, know you were going to be in the parking lot? And mind you, he wasn't just like randomly in the parking lot. He was like at the very back end of the parking lot behind coach buses. And if you don't know what a coach bus is, it's just huge buses used to transport like a bunch of sports kids over to their like necessary location. I guess it can be used for adults too, but you know, I'm a teenager, so like that's where I've seen it the most. But yeah, I thought that was insane in itself. And then after I finished having the conversation with this guy, I was like, all right, can I go talk to my dad about what we just talked about? And then he asks why. And I'm like, there's no way you just asked why do I want to go talk to my dad about all of the drama that's happening right now. There's just like genuinely no way you think I wouldn't want to just start my lesson without talking to my dad first. Especially since he's been waiting the whole time as well. Does he just expect me to drive off with no further word about it? I thought that was pretty insane. It felt like a complete disregard for like my emotion. And then he basically just said to call him then, as in call him over. And to give you a little bit of perspective, I was not in calling distance from this guy. My dad. I was not in calling distance from him, so it inevitably was just like, I asked him, how do you expect me to call him? Like, bring him over? Because, like, we're 50 cars away from him, and the window's closed. So he just says, I don't know. Because I asked to go talk to him, and he said no, so I don't know what he expected me to do. So I was like, here, look, I'll just wave at the window that he has closed. Again, my dad didn't look over. How would he when he's literally like on his phone trying to make a report about the bad service? Like, that's insane. So yeah, I inevitably get out and I say thank you for letting me out of your vehicle, basically. And yeah, then I go to my dad and I kind of relay everything that we talked about, which is like basically him being very inconsiderate. And I was like, all right then, I think we got everything covered. I go back to him, and basically the exact same thing happens. He feels like he's not in the wrong for just sitting in his car and waiting for me to do, well, go and find him and play, like, Where's Waldo in the parking lot. I don't know. I feel like in any professional company, the person would be waiting at the front of, like, the agreed location. Something just doesn't feel right about that. Just the professionalism is a little bit off-key. And with all due respect, like, if I was running a company, I would be at the front. I don't know. It's just something about it. But yeah, inevitably I get back in the car and I'm like, alright, so, I don't know what to do in this situation because I don't particularly feel comfortable about, what's all going on here. Especially because we've already wasted 30 minutes. Or, he basically said I wasted the time, but in reality I think he more or less wasted it. Just because of the fact that, like, how was I supposed to know he was in the parking lot just sitting there randomly waiting? Yeah. Again, I feel like I'm kind of running in circles here. Mind you, this is my first ever commentary, so I'm a bit lost. And I'm still kind of trying to understand the whole situation. Like, it only happened a few hours ago, so I'm a little bit gobsmacked still. But yeah, inevitably, I decided that it wasn't worth my time because he's, well, wasted 30 minutes of my time, it feels like, and we won. That's absolutely insane. Wasted 30 minutes of my time, and I still have to pay the full amount, and he said if I do or don't, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to have to pay $100. Yeah, that's right. It didn't come free if I just decided not to go. He was going to charge me $100 because I was there, and then I didn't want to anymore. After all the arguing, after all that, now I'm short $100? No. So, depending on how this goes, I might be in court to get my money back. So yeah, I think that's everything. I think it's covered. I hope that was at least decently understood. I think that's all. Yeah. So yeah, make sure to like and subscribe. I don't get drama like this often, so probably not a bunch of lectures like this in the future, but if you like this one, it would help a lot if you did subscribe, because I'm trying to hit every milestone possible up until YouTube rank, I guess. But yeah, again, thank you for watching. Join the Discord if you'd like, link in the description. I'll see you guys later.